Welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. So this is for week 9 of the Premier League, and obviously back from the international break. This is going to be a tough week. I can feel it. Getting right into it is Newcastle and Chelsea up first. That's the early kickoff game. This is going to be a tough game. Obviously Newcastle have been in and out of form. They've gotten good results, but they've also gotten bad results. And Chelsea recently have strung together a couple of good results, but against poor opposition, it's going to be a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Next game is Aston Villa and Brighton. I think apparently Brighton have been really good defensively this season, or at least recently, which was surprising to hear. And obviously Aston Villa getting a good result against Arsenal, that 3-0 away win, so they'll be up and firing. But I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Next up is Spurs and Man City, one of the biggest games of the weekend. Spurs have been in really good form. They've won nearly every game this season, which has been impressive. Whereas Man City have dropped points, but they have gotten good results recently as well. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Manchester City. Next game will be Man United and West Brom. This will be an easy win for Man United because West Brom have been terrible this season. And obviously seeing them lose a couple of weeks ago to Fulham 2-0, that really just highlighted how bad they were. And although they did do well in their last game against Spurs, they were very good defensively. I don't think they have enough to keep Man United out. It'll be a 3-0 win. Next up is Fulham and Everton. This will be another close game because Everton have been massively out of form recently. I think since their really good start to the season, it's all been downhill, and they've been playing really badly. Whereas with Fulham, they've been playing well in some games, but in other games they've been blown away. It's going to be a tough game to call, but I think it'll be a 1-0 win to Everton. Next up is Sheffield and West Ham. Another really close game. It seems like every single game is going to be close this weekend. It's unbelievable. But, Sheffield have been playing well recently, and it looks like they're starting to get back to the form they had through most of last season. So that's good. Whereas with West Ham, they've actually started the season really well, and their fixtures haven't been that great either, but somehow they managed to grind out results, which has been really impressive. And I think that will continue with a 2-1 win to West Ham. Next up is Leeds and Arsenal. Now, this is probably the toughest game to call this weekend because I don't know which way this game will go. Obviously, Leeds have been shocking recently, conceding 8 goals in 2 games, and obviously Arsenal losing 3-0 at home to Aston Villa, coming back off winning 1-0 away at Old Trafford. I'm not sure what's happening with Arsenal. They're up and down. It looks like they're good defensively, but when goals start going in, it looks like they drop their heads and they just concede more goals. I think both sides are fragile, so I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Next up is Liverpool and Leicester. Now, this is probably, again, like Man City and Spurs, this is probably one of the biggest games of the weekend. And it could be one of the biggest games of the season because of how the title race will play out. Liverpool are massively hit with injuries, and it's going to be hard for them to get anything out of this game. Defensively, it looks like they're going to be all over the place in this game because they pretty much got all their defenders out except their fullbacks, and even some of the midfielders as well are out. So it's going to be a tough game for them. And obviously Leicester are in massively good form. They're the league leaders, and if they win this game, they'll extend their lead at the top. I think they'll win this game 2-3. Next up is Burnley and Palace. Burnley have been shockingly bad this season. I couldn't even get my words out then because of how bad they've actually been. But they've been awful going forward, and also they've been conceding goals as well. I don't see how they get anything out of this game. It'll be a 2-0 win to Palace. The last game of the week will be Wolves and Southampton, and this is another tough game to call. Both sides are in good form, and they're high up in the league table. Two, top table sides coming against each other. But I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Wolves. And that completes the round of fixtures for the weekend.